What's good? How we doing? So, check it out. I was gonna make this video about something else, but for some reason, I had to make it about this. Alright, I was gonna make it about which emotion is the best emotion. It's really a trick question, but the way things been going and the way people have been drawn to me, I was like, let me go ahead and do this here. Because this right here is what I really feel is more needed right now. This is what I'm being pulled to do. So check it out. As you see, the title of this video is "The Power is Not a Fantasy." And I want to talk about that because a lot of us, I've been noticing a lot of people come to me, they've asked me a lot of questions about, what I post on Facebook and, the in-depths to it. And it's really not over the top. It's really not rocket science. It's really just what it is. You are your power. You are manifestation. You're everything that you need. So when I'm saying that your power is not a fantasy, it's because here in social media world today, I see a lot of people, they post a lot of stuff. Brilliant stuff. A lot of amazing stuff about energy, the whole nine. But the thing is, when it really comes down to it, when we start to face things in our life, I've noticed that a lot of us have steered away from what we're posting and saying that we believe. I see people, posting videos about, their spiritual journey and the things that they're doing. But then when it comes down to it, because it's not working out the way we thought it would work out, we begin to steer from it or we begin to doubt it. And I believe the reason is because we are missing that key puzzle piece, which is ourselves. A lot of times we like to seek to validate our existence and to validate, what we're doing by what we can see. But that's not always the case, all right? You are the key. You are the power. You are manifestation. So let's break that down for a minute. So what happens when the thought comes to mind? A thought comes to mind, you sit there and you process it. We process it. We figure out what it is that we're going to do with this thought. We're either going to let it manifest or we're not. It's that simple. We'll let it manifest or we're not. So when that thought comes to mind, like, oh, you know what? I want to go get a new car. All right, cool. So when you say you want to go get a new car, that thought is just manifested. You put that energy out there already. So what happens next is you agree to that. So then you take the next step to go get a car. Okay, if you're really serious about going to get that car, you're going to go to the dealership. You're going to say, okay, look, I want to get this car. I want to know how much I got to put down, yada, yada, the whole everything. So once you do that, you have everything that you need. All right? Really, you've already manifested right there, and I'll backtrack there in a sec. But the next step is now you know what you need to get that car. So the next thing is you become manifestation. And what I mean by you become manifestation by putting in the work. If you need $2,000 to get that car, then you go and you're like, all right, well, it's going to take me this long to save this $2,000 up. It's going to take this long for whatever. But on this day, I should have the $2,000. Hopefully they got that car left still. And when I get that car, when I get the $2,000, I'm going to get the car. You become the manifestation, whatever it is. Oh, I want to go to the store. Just as sure as you're saying, you know what, I'm about to go to the store. I want something to drink. I want the new vegan plate that they got out. Whatever it is, once you make up in your mind you're going to do that, you just manifested that thought. Or you brought that thought into fruition, and then you became the manifestation that brought that thought and produced whatever it was into your life by going and doing what you did. Okay? Another thing that I'm really seeing that people really deal with, and people are really dealing with, tough times, like financial times or financial burdens. I know it's hard. I know it's hard, like when you're in a space where you feel like nobody is there to help, and you feel like nobody understands you, especially on this journey of awakening and learning about yourself and learning about your power. Especially if you come from a Christian background, because everybody's going to be like, oh, you're the devil. You're a devil worshiper, and they're going to start, they're going to do all this extra stuff, and your family that's supposed to be family will turn their backs on you, and your friends that ain't really with it will turn your backs on you, and it'll seem like a lonely walk. It will. But let me help you out. I was talking to somebody today, and I had to tell them, I was like, you have to be what it is you want to attract. Okay? Continue to be who you are as you are growing in your journey. Because as you're growing in your journey and you're operating in the power that you know that you have, there are going to be more people that are going to gravitate to that energy because they're on the same journey too. You can't expect a Christian to gravitate towards, someone spiritual or someone religious to gravitate towards someone spiritual. It's not going to happen because there's two conflict of interest right there. It's just not going to happen, So what you do is you keep walking in that light. Somebody's going to see that and say, hey, you know what? That's interesting. That's something I feel there. I need to get there. And that's when that person is going to be drawn to you, and that's when y'all connect. And it's not always, even if it's the opposite sex, it's not always for an intimate relationship other than helping each other grow, And there are going to be a lot of people as you grow spiritually that are going to be drawn to your power. A lot of people that will be drawn to your power, they'll fall in love with your energy, but still not know you. But let's talk a little bit more on how your power is not a fantasy. Stop fantasizing about it. If you want to get out of whatever situation that you want to get out of, you have to see your way out of it. I made a post the other day and I was saying, speaking the obvious, only puts it back in rotation. You have to speak what it is that you want to be in rotation. So if something's going wrong in your life right now, don't sit there and say, oh man, this is just going wrong in my life. All this stuff, I just can't seem to get a break. Yeah, and the whole everything, I just can't seem to get a break. Every time I try to do something bad happens. Whatever. Well, guess what? Every single time you say that with such sincerity and such believing, even though it has happened, you put it back in rotation. Every single time you're saying, oh, man, every single time I try to do something bad happens. Guess what happens? The next time you try to do something, because of what you manifested using your power, something bad's going to happen. Okay? So check this out. That's real. Every time you say, man, I can't get ahead, guess what? You won't be able to get ahead. Because you keep manifesting that. You keep saying that. You're powerful. You're that powerful. Whether you're joking or whether you're not. If you keep saying that you can't, if you keep saying that something as bad is going to happen, and you believe that because of how it's played out, because if you've been seeing the obvious, that obvious is happening because of what you're saying. So you have to change the way you think about your situation. You have to change the way you see your situation. You have to change the way you speak about your situation. Okay? That's where your power begins to work for you instead of against you. But you have to believe it. I know it seems hard. I know it seems like there's no way out. But this power is real. It's not a fantasy. And if you only look at it as a fantasy, that's all it'll ever be. You feel me? I've talked to people before and they were like, hey, I get what you're saying, but in the real world, hold up, time out. What do you mean in the real world? Because if you're saying in the real world, that means what you're saying that you believe, what you're studying and that you say that you believe in, must not seem that realistic to you. Must not seem that realistic to you. Because you're using this world that we're in right now, this systematic world, and calling it the real world over the world that your power governs. Powerful. Very, very powerful. Power is not a fantasy. We can do exercises all day. Check it out. Say my power is not say my power is not a fantasy in your head right now. Don't open your mouth. Just say it as they say in your head. Did you say it? Did you hear it? Okay, so if the answer is yes, which it should have been yes, how did you hear it if you did not open your mouth to speak it in this realm, to hear it with these ears that are in this realm? You spoke that from a whole nother realm. You spoke that from an entirely different realm. Yeah. The realm of manifestation, the realm that's inside of you. See, you're just the God that's inside of you. You're the God that's inside governing this avatar. This is your temple. The temple houses the God. You see what I'm saying? This temple houses you. But you're the power inside that you just spoke from. So every time you speak that, or every time you think a thought, or every time you're writing or texting, check this out. Every time you're texting, this is where internet gets really, really dangerous. Every time you're texting, every time you're writing something down, what are you doing most of the time? You're saying it where? Here. You're saying it here to make sure you got it right when you type it, to make sure you ain't got no typos, make sure everything's legit, right? That's about right. So every time you're doing that, you're manifesting. That's why it's very dangerous to use that power. Very, very dangerous to just type and text and write, because you're saying it here and you're manifesting it from here first. You feel me? Powerful. Very, very powerful. So you have to realize that. And when you realize that, you begin to use your power more responsibly. It's not a fantasy. It's real. Alright, so hey, I appreciate y'all joining me for this first video. You know, it's my first one. Thank y'all. Welcome. I'm your host, Adohi. Stay tuned for more. Just remember, your power is not a fantasy. Use it to get where you want to get. And I know I said I was done, but I still be having some more to say. I'm not gonna front. This is authentic. I'm authentic with it. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be straight, cut and dry with you. I'm not finna sit here in front. I'm not finna sit here and lie to you. Nope. I've been quiet for too long. Y'all gotta realize this. Y'all sitting on so much power. You've been programmed against yourself. It's time to rise up. It's time to rise up. This ain't no fake love. This ain't no fake high vibes. None of that stuff. Because we're gonna touch on all this. We got videos to come. But I want you to start using your power for yourself a lot better than you have. I want to see you start manifesting your way out of your problems. Because you can do that. You can very much do that. It's just a matter of whether or not you believe that you can do it, and you're going to be intentional with that energy. You have to be intentional. That's really what it is. You got to take that energy and be intentional. Instead of saying, man, well, I mean, I get that. I know I got this energy, but I just hope it works this time. I hope it works. Nah, that's doubt. You're doubting your own power before you even use it. And you're actually still using it against yourself. So instead of saying, man, I hope this works, say, you know what? I'm going to do this. What do I need to do? Whatever it is that I need to do, I'm going to do it. Because I'm going to do this. You see the difference? There's a big difference in that. Once you're that intentional, just as intentional as you're saying, like, you know what, I'm gonna go to the store, I'll be back, and you go grab your keys, you gotta be that intentional with what it is you wanna manifest in life. You gotta be that intentional with getting yourself out of whatever it is you wanna get out of. It's not gonna be handed to you on a silver platter. It's not a secret magic trick, but it begins to happen. It begins to open pathways for you. You know, when everything seems like it's coming down on you, and you're just like, man, I can't, you know, when you want to be like, I can't find my way out. Instead of saying I can't find my way out, say, you know what, I'm going to figure this out. And because you felt that intentional and you were that sure with your energy and your power to say that and be that, somebody's going to come into your life. Somebody's going to come around. I'm not talking about lovers and nothing like that. Somebody's going to show up and be like, hey, you know what, look, I want to support you. Hey, you know what, I want to do this for you. Hey, you know what, I love what you're speaking. I love your energy. Hey, I love this right here. And they're going to support you because they love you. Because they see your energy. They love your vibe. They love your energy. And it's an attracting energy. That's how you begin to change things. And I want to break that mindset of us feeling like we have to do it alone. You don't have to do it alone. Think about it for a second. We've been programming and thinking that we have to do everything alone. Like, oh, I can do it by myself. I don't need this. I don't need nobody. That's very unrealistic. Look at your body. Even your body doesn't function by itself. Your cells work together to form who you are right now. So who are you to think that you don't need anybody else? You just have to position yourself to attract the right people to grow together with. And that's how you do it. We support each other. I'm saying we are each other's keepers. So anyway, look, stop fantasizing about your power, okay? Do this for real. You got this, all right? You got any questions, comments, leave them below. That's cool. You want to stay tuned to the stuff that I'm going to be speaking, because I'm going to be speaking some more real authentic stuff. Hit the subscribe button, because I'm here for y'all. I'm doing this for y'all, and yeah, I'm doing it for me too, because I enjoy helping. That's really what it is, because energy is reciprocated. You don't even have to do nothing for me. Just by me doing what I need to do for you, it makes me feel good, because that energy is automatically reciprocated. So look, hit that subscribe button. If you really like this, share it. You know what I'm saying? Get it to somebody. But I'm finna unlock some minds, and we can unlock minds together. You feel me? This is at OE, show authentic. Peace.